You don't know it when you're in it, but I had a storybook childhood. My father was a fairly famous and prolific travel journalist back in the late 50s and 60s when I came around. And one of the great things about being a travel journalist then was you were really treated like royalty. So I spent my formative years traveling all over the world, seeing the world's most beautiful places, staying in the world's finest hotels, beautiful palaces. You know, one of the things that I remember is that while my parents were being wined and dined by public relations people, I would get bored and I would just start wandering and exploring, and all of those things that you see, like for example, at Villa d'Este in Lake Como, which is this storied, beautiful hotel on the lake, has these incredible proportions and architecture and gardens, and I would just wander the grounds, and my mind was being filled with all these, you know, incredible stories about, you know, architecture and design. Kevin and I have worked on a bunch of projects together. We share a kindred spirit in that we're both avid storytellers. And Kevin's really interested in authenticity, finding something that's real and being able to create traditions and celebrate why we're here. And what's interesting about that is that Kevin's Sagamore Development Group partnered with Pendry. And the Pendry brand is an offshoot of the Montage Resorts. And one of the things that's interesting about Pendry is Pendry's focus is to go into cities and create hotel experiences for them that are authentic to its location. Pendry is interested in engaging in the city. So if I'm a traveler and I'm interested in engaging, I'm going to go to a Pendry so that I can experience Baltimore, or I can experience San Diego, or wherever else they're building. That concept and Kevin Plank's interest in storytelling and authenticity aligned. So the first thing that we did was understand what the story underneath this project was about. And one of the strongest stories here is our relationship physically to Fort McHenry and the Battle of 1812, where the British bombardment of Fort McHenry was where the Star-Spangled Banner was written. So we have incredible intrinsic stories to this hotel. And the idea was to find ways to tell that story through exploration. That's one of the stories. That's a strong one. So the first thing you see when you walk in the door is the Star-Spangled Banner, all the lyrics to it, laser cut in steel. That's your first expression of the hotel, or greeting of the hotel. But there are other things. Baltimore, when you dig deep into Baltimore, you understand that it is a city of gritty industry, and that has also become very wealthy because of that industry. So we wanted to actually engage that. And so if you look throughout the hotel, we've exposed steel beams with rivets. We've actually added steel with rivets. But then we posit that right next to some beautiful, you know, leather sofa that's supple and luxurious. So if you couple those two things and you put them side by side, to me that's Baltimore. It is the charm of having something that's real and industrial and made by men, right next to something that is luxurious and engaging and charming. And that was the goal for the hotel, engage that spirit. In my career, I love houses, I love going out to eat at restaurants, and I love cool hotels, probably all because these are the things I grew up doing. When you design a restaurant, I've been lucky to do a lot of them, as you just mentioned. One of the things that's great about it is if you think about the design of a restaurant, if you and your partner are deciding to go out to dinner, you're thinking about a 2-hour vacation that you're about to embark on. I just want to escape and go someplace for 2 hours. We've done a bunch of restaurants, and all of those projects have their own soul, right? And what the goal there is to try to engage what the menu is. What's the food that I'm trying to do here? Envelop that with an experience for the customer that they leave whatever worries they walked in before they walk through that door, they're leaving them at the door. So when we did Pazzo, for example, I'm taking someone on a Mediterranean vacation for 2 hours, right? So to go to Positano, right, and have something fantastic in a sort of a space that's filled with life and energy. If you go to Lock Bar, for example, in the Four Seasons, you're going to a fish house you might find in Maine, right, for raw oysters. What's that feel like? What's that Americana quality that's there? So we've done a lot of these restaurants, and I love doing them because I get to find the story, tell the story, and transport people for that period of time. And what's interesting about that, for example, as compared to a hotel, is the duration. Like when you're designing a hotel, your duration that you're designing for is longer, right? So like wherein in a restaurant, I know I only have to capture your attention for 2 hours. In a hotel, I think you've got to be able to make a design that's facile, can evolve over time, and succeed to capture your attention for a number of days.